Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. We're here at the main customs office. And see that vehicle sitting in there? Kind of looks like it's bouncing up and down. Maybe it's got some hydraulics going on with it. Well, that's a garbage truck. And that garbage truck is loading hazardous waste. Yes, I figured out how to do it. All I had to do is tell this thing to wait until loaded. And now it is loading the hazardous waste. Now, we are getting paid for this. This is not costing us anything. We got paid 4,400 rubles for this, which is great. We're going to take that and we're going to process it. And there's all sorts, and this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to do it this way. There are all sorts of items, all sorts of resources in this group of hazardous waste. So you can see that there's construction waste in here, fine. Metal scrap, aluminum scrap, 10% of it is aluminum scrap. That's like getting paid to get aluminum. Pretty good. Metal scrap is 10%, plastic, etc. And then 15% hazardous waste. We're going to process all of that stuff, and all of that stuff is going to end up in circulation in our waste yard, I guess you could say, for us to process into usable resources. So we're going to get paid essentially for the resources that give us, usable stuff, which is great. Now, I don't know if there is some kind of limit on the amount of waste we can get and where we can get it. So I also have this garbage truck going over to Mulcha, whatever it's called. I have this going over here. We're going to see if this thing can load it too. Because again, I don't know if there's a limit to how much you can do for this. It seems really strong for you to be able to just pull in a seemingly infinite supply of hazardous waste and to be able to process all of it. So what I want to see from this truck is whether or not this goes up. I mean, you can see it loads really slowly, but do we get to the point, or to a point where there is no more left to load? So that's what I want to take a look at over time. The other thing I want to take a look at over time is what the plan is for waste. So at the moment, my train construction office is dealing with the final steps here. I'm going to tell you to go. Yep, go. Frame rates. Come on now. I really want an update that lets this game use like eight cores on my CPU. The developer says it uses 3 cores. The game uses 3 cores. So essentially, my CPU upgrade, it didn't really do anything for me. Sorry, just didn't. Whoops. Other games are using resources a lot better, but like I said, this is the single developer. He's done a wonderful job with this. It's running on its own engine, so it is what it is. I want to take a look at this. This is not a long-term solution, right? The waste management part of this, how this is coming together, is not a good, viable solution. I am thinking now what I probably have to do is I might need to get the trains to come in from this side, and maybe even actually it might work better on this side. Anyway, use a tunnel. Okay, tunnel can then come out here. That way I have lots of room to round in. And have the tunnel come out here and then pop into one of these, right? We might just have to have it do this instead. That's pretty viable. We can definitely make that happen as long as there's enough room for the tunnel to come out. If there's not enough room for the tunnel to come out, we got another set of problems. But maybe that's kind of why I was thinking of coming over on this side, because if I get rid of this curvy road right here, that gives me room for a tunnel to pop out right here. And then the track could just lead right into here. But in general, it takes way too long to load waste. The other issue, though, is that this scrapyard area is designed to have 3 tracks that go that way, or 3 tracks that go counterclockwise, and 1 track that goes clockwise, relative to our current view here. And so this train's coming down the wrong side, because if you're going to sit here for a length of period of time, you need to do so on one of the 3 tracks that are going in that direction so that trains can get around you. In this case, it's not going to do that because it's going to the border. And that's even more weird because the train actually can't go from here over to the border. It's just not designed to do that. I never imagined, or I never intended for this train to be able to do that. So, this little whip in here is not going to be happening. As a result of that, this train is just not working right. Initially, though, the goal is not initially. The goal here, though, ultimately, there you go, is to get it to be dropping stuff off over here. If I take a look at this, what we want to do here is we have almost no waste here. So this is actually the perfect time to do this because we have almost no waste being dropped off here, I suppose. Yeah, once we have workers and they start processing the waste, that's good news. Although they have 50 tons of waste in here. I really do wish it would just push all 50 tons into this instead of leaving it in here. But the storages, they don't have any push-pull forces, right? So it's up to this thing to push it in here. And there's no reason to do that until you overflow. So you're really only getting the overflow in here, right? And then this thing initiates the pull. So it pulls things out of there. But this is not pushing because it doesn't have to. It has internal storage. So once I go ahead and do this, this thing will stop operating because it can't hold any more waste, okay? But what I want to do here is I want to get rid of these two factory connections. I need to also hook this up to a road because it isn't currently hooked up to a road. We'll just real quick get a road. Comes out like that. That's fine. We need to hook you up to demolition offices. Let's just make sure all of them are selected and make sure everybody is tearing this stuff down. All right. I want this to also be, it's already been auto assigned here, but I can get the other ones on it too. That's fine. Just get everybody involved in the demolition process right here. There you go. These ones are on there too. When this is done, I'm going to need to put this in here. And it is possible. Whoop, not this one. I need to make sure I do the right one too. We want this one in here. Facing this way. Okay. It is possible that that is going to be in the way. Just to get around that, since this isn't going to be operating much anyway right now. Well, I guess it could technically operate, but we have a lot of mixed waste potential in here. So just ash really, but they're going to be bringing... No, we're no longer doing that. We're not bringing bio-waste directly here anymore. If we are, we're not doing it in a lot of quantity. So I think we're fine actually to disconnect this right now. I'm going to go in and disconnect that wire. Potentially that one too. I'll look at that. We'll see. But hopefully this gets done first. I'm going to make this the high priority so that they do this first. And then they'll be tearing out this wire so it's not in my way. The ultimate design here is going to have this station sitting here. We could also flip it so that the road doesn't have to cross that factory connection just because. But what we're going to have is essentially it's going to have to sit somewhere over here to where the left factory connection relative to the camera is going to go to the incinerator and the right one will go in there. So we'll end up having the same hookup but with a different drop-off point so that we can get trains to bring that waste into here. And that's also going to be a place where we, if we have a town over there or whatever, they can also bring waste into here to get burned at this incinerator. We'll have other incinerators too. This is not like a Republic-wide incinerator before anyone says anything. That's not how that's going to work. But this is going to hopefully operate continuously. If I can get this to max out to where this is running at max 20 employees all the time, and this is full all the time, or at least the new one is full all the time, in that situation, then we can either add another incinerator, which will be harder in this limited space, or we just make another incinerator somewhere else. Probably will be that second one. But I don't want this thing sitting here doing this anymore. So we have to look at a more long-term solution. At the moment, we're really not doing much with the waste, right? Like we're processing it, but I don't think we're processing it very quickly. You see a lot of mixed waste is ending up in the export dump, which is over, well, it should be pushing it over here. So for some reason, fertilizer is in here, which is not what's supposed to happen. What? How did fertilizer get in here? It's not even in here in a quantity that matters either. How do I get it out of here? You know what? I might need to get a garbage truck. I can handle this. Do I have... Mixed waste is not building up there, okay? I might need to get a garbage truck that could just get rid of this. Can you do this? Can you get rid of the fertilizer in here? Just load fertilizer, I guess, and take it over here. I don't know why that would be in there, but it is. I mean, the only thing I can think of for that situation is that we had a very small amount of mixed waste that was only fertilizer put in here, and then this dump just decided that that was what it was going to hold. So it probably was biological waste. We had a little bit of biological waste that didn't get pulled in with the rest of the mixed waste. So this is going to start filling up, which is not good. I mean, we got a lot of stuff in here. 30% of it's fertilizer, actually. But but we got to get rid of it. So are you dumping? Okay, good. So what are you? You're loading. I don't know what this guy's doing. Anyway, I got to figure that out because there's some weird things going on with our storages. You have to specifically designate what they're supposed to be storing. And I apparently did not do that. So this is fertilizer as well right now, which isn't great. So like everything is just like defaulting to fertilizer for some reason. So I need to get rid of that. You load fertilizer and then dump it somewhere else. Can you get rid of it, please? There we go. Mixed waste, please. There. And then you need to do the same thing here. We're just marking this thing as a mixed waste setup here. Yeah, mixed waste. That's what you load. Until unloaded, that's fine. Okay. So now this should be receiving mixed waste. We need to do the same thing with this one. When that other garbage truck comes here to do that, that's what we'll do. It's like such a small amount. Anyway, while that's been happening, I've been kind of stalling, to be honest, because I want to get the rail done over here. Now we've got this part done. We're just waiting for this little segment here, and then we're going to get going with our crop train. And that's a very exciting time because that's when I can start building out my rail the way I intended it to be. I got to figure out what's going on over here. You are going back to base. That's fine. What about the other track builders? You're going back to base too. All right, so I should have a track builder coming out here soon that is on its way over there to fix or to finish the rest of those rails. You're sending the slow one? Why are you sending the slow one? Don't do that. Don't send the slow one. Yeah, you're electrified all the way out here. All the way out to here. Oh, so you're I see. The slow one is coming over here to electrify this segment. I don't know, maybe. Anyway, what I need to do is a couple of things with the rail. I need to have this to where I can have my crossing here. The entire design calls for having a crossing right here, just like this one, so that trains can use both of these points no matter which direction they're coming from. They'll just wait their turn until things leave or exit, right? So they sit in here, they do their thing, and they leave. The long-term goal does not have a train sitting in here for long periods of time, waiting until loaded, waiting until unloaded, etc. That's not the end goal here. What are you doing? Oh, you're just a dedicated truck doing this. I don't need that to happen either. We're going to go ahead and just tell you to sit here for a bit. So that's the goal right now, all right? We need to get this long train that's been going to the border, we need to get that to stop doing that. Because right now, the only reason it's doing that is because of the need to having crops, okay? This is a crop train. The crop train function is being replaced by this field one here, which means we no longer have a need to buy crops at the border, at least hopefully. If we do, the distribution office will take care of it, but I don't anticipate we'll ever have a need to do that anymore once this train is operational. Just going by the math of how many tons of crops we end up using per year, I don't think it'll be necessary. We'll see though. So as soon as we have the crop train done, I get to take this long train here and I get to tell it, its locomotives and its boxcars, to go ahead and be situated here. And that should probably occupy the remainder of the space in here. We'll have plenty of like places for open hull, covered hulls, refrigeration, hopper cars, etc. Everything we need for this thing to stay operational and manage our entire logistics throughout 3 cities, right? That's what this is supposed to do. This is supposed to manage the logistics and supply for Charlybinsk, Cernikova, and Charlybinsk North. But we may be able to get away with it managing the logistics and the meat here. And if that's happening, then we probably can get away with it being in Krasna as well. Because I've renamed these towns. I don't know if you can tell that. I've renamed this. This is Krasna. We also have Krasna Farms. This was Kirarush. I've renamed it to Kirarush Fields because we may have Kirarush as a city somewhere over here. I didn't rename anything over here or here, so that's fine. I may have touched that one. I don't remember. But either way, and then this is now Cernikova Farms, which I might change to Fields. So I've just renamed a couple of the things. Okay, how's the progress on this? It's happening slowly but surely. We'll probably get there. We'll definitely get that by the end of the video. By the end of this video, we are no longer going to have this train. This is going to be at the train distribution office. We will also have a crop train running, and that'll be great. And then once that's done, we need to talk about how it's going to get there, right? Because currently, even if we did have that storage set up, we wouldn't be able to get there with a train right now. So let's talk about how that's happening. This right here with the long train depot, this has always been temporary. It's not a permanent solution, all right? It's wooden tracks. I believe it's wooden tracks for a reason. I might have made this. I believe that's wooden tracks. It's dark, so I can't really see it, but I think it is. So this crossing here and all these signals, as well as this, it's all temporary. It's never been permanent. The long-term solution is to have an intersection right here, which runs really close to all these electrical. So what we'll ultimately want to see from this side is that this train track is going to end up going that direction. Okay, at some point. I may need to rework this to make it look good, but functionally it should work really well. So we should say, for example, the train goes right next to this road is where this is supposed to go, but I may need to actually move the road because I won't be able to actually make the intersection if I don't move the road. So why don't I remove this and this just to get it out of the way. We can figure out where we want to be there. So what we want to do for this, and you know, I think probably we'll try this. Let's have this road go really tight here. And then can you connect? Tell me you can connect. Just right there. There you go. All right. Because that connects, I now know that I can go closer to this road. So let's say we go about here with it. We'll run parallel to this road here, and then we're going to come over and be about like, let's say this. Gotta be, yep, right there. All right, so this is going to come out like this. Now, why do I want a track that goes this way? That's where the passengers in Cernakova are going to be going. The train that comes through here, one direction, remember? There's 3 tracks that go that way, 1 track that comes the other way. This train comes around here. It's going to end up picking people up, and then it needs to get people where they need to work. That's going to be coming this way. So a separate rail that brings them this direction. And in order to get trains to come from Cernakova into the scrapyard, it needs to connect here. But it also needs to get here to move over that way and to pass through here and to go with these guys, or to come through here and merge over and get through the tunnel, right? I get not this side, but like to go through here, get through the tunnel and go out that way, right? So there's going to be reasons for this train to need to move to various different tracks. And it could also, if it chooses, just merge onto this and go. But I'm giving it an alternative. It's also another alternative to get to the border over here later, because this border crossing has a rail connection. I'd like to get into that a little bit too if I could. So on this side, right, we're going to want to have this rail connect that way. So it's going to do that like so and like so, right? So it's almost a 4-way intersection. The part where this becomes a little bit messy, and I realize again that this is not like a realistic way of how trains move in here. I get it. But the next part of this has it going this direction, right? So this is a 4-way interchange just like before, but it goes like that, okay? Then from over here, all these electrical wires are basically done now. So it's going to head this direction. I want to go a little bit tighter, probably around here. I'm going to go this direction from here, okay? And then we're going to have a tunnel. I'm going to say right about here, I think is where the tunnel is going to end up being. We're going to have a tunnel. It takes it underneath. Oh, I have to go a little bit closer. Do I? Shouldn't have to go closer than this. Yeah, I got to go a little bit closer. Okay. A little bit closer with the rail. I like that then. That should be good enough. And then you should go underneath this. There we go. And, you know, I could go a little bit closer with the rail just because, like, see how the tunnel, the entrance kind of sticks out, right? It's not truly underneath that. So that tells me I can go even closer. So I'm going to go about here with it instead. It'll be a very short tunnel. Not a lot of distance in this one, but there we go. That looks better. Now I can have this tunnel stick out about... Aww, come on. Don't stick up. I might need to go a little bit... It needs to be taller. I'm looking for aesthetics in this. It's functional, but see how it just kind of sticks out of the ground right there? I don't particularly like how that looks. I could maybe get away with it being longer like that, but I don't want it to do that. I'd rather it be, you know, just higher up like this. So why don't we take this tunnel, just get rid of it, and then we'll pull the track back a little bit. I think this might look better anyway. Pull this track back, let's say from here. And then what we'll do is bring it this direction. So it goes just a little bit further. Okay. And then now it's a little bit deeper here, right? Or it's a little bit higher up, mountain-wise, whatever. So I should see the top of this tunnel. I have to curve just a little bit into it here. But I should see the top of this tunnel now. Really? That's strange. Wasn't that hard. You have to find that right spot, right? So now the tunnel has the appropriate distance, appropriate length, I think, and it also goes significantly under the mountain so you can't see the edges of it. And it also comes out this side so you can't see the edges of it. So that's what I'm looking for here, okay? Then on this side, the train track is going to end up... Now, we have a little bit of an issue here because the terrain is pretty high, right? We have to curve here pretty quickly. So it'll go and curve like this. And then we're going to have it send this way, pretty much. We're going to have it go that direction. Okay? And then it ends up kind of going off this way. For what happens afterwards, or what we're going to do next, or later on. Not next, but later on. So we'll end up like sort of reserving the path to go that way, okay? But after this tunnel, right around, let's say here, we're going to have the rail, say right about here should be good. We're going to have the rail head this direction, okay? And this is where we get this to kind of do that. Okay, it's pretty tight. I don't need to go quite that tight. Let's get rid of these, and then we can go from here. It'll come out, say from here probably. I don't know exactly where, so we can always adjust it later. It'll come out about like this. That's pretty good. Not so tight anymore. And then we'll have this go probably right about to, let's say, maybe here. And then it's going to round that way. Again, I don't know which side this is going to be, so we can adjust it later. So we'll just let that be the reference, okay? They have to build the track anyway. What I'm going to do, just so they don't build too much of the track, though, is we're just going to cancel this railway about, let's say, here and here. That way, when I go and do this, well, hang on. Let's mark this as another plan later. Yeah, it's just enough of a reference to we know where it is. So let's mark that as the plan. And then now we have a rail that will go ahead and get built that goes that way. It's going to go underneath this, which looks pretty cool, I think. So we have coal coming down the mountain here. We've got, you know, cars and stuff driving. Train goes underneath the mountain. It's going to look pretty good. Right? And then from this side, the rail comes all the way out, wraps around this way, and it's going to enter into here for another four-way intersection. Remember, this part is temporary. It will not exist when this is all finalized, okay? So nothing here, you can ignore this. In other words, this ends up being another four-way intersection that goes that direction and around. And we can also potentially put it directly under the mountain, although that is a very big tunnel. But if there's a reason to do that, then we can always do it. Okay. So I think I've stalled long enough for them to make the... I haven't really had time speed going very fast, but I was kind of hoping I had stalled long enough for them to build this track. It appears as though I haven't because they've been sending the slow one out to do it. Lame. So why don't we just let time go for a little while longer until we see the track builders get out there and finish it, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, track is done and electrified and everything is good to go, all right? We've got, you can tell this thing to go back to base. This is all said and done. So now, here's what we got to do next. Got nearly 8,000 tons of crops in here, okay? There's no reason now for track builders to come in here. It's all done. So we are going to take this track right here and we're going to eliminate it. We're going to get rid of it, right? Let's make this a high priority. And we're going to hope that the rail construction office goes ahead and gets this done quickly, all right? That's your task now. When this gets removed, the traffic through here becomes way simpler to manage. And we don't need to worry so much about trains stopping where they're not supposed to stop anymore, okay? I'll show you that as soon as we can build the little crossing that we're going to have here instead. In the meantime, while they're working on that, it's time to get our crop train going, okay? So, we got all these box cars and stuff. We're just going to go ahead and attach this. We should see higher capacity than the other train. We're going to have a total of, what? 607 tons of capacity. I think that's a pretty good amount. So, next, we're going to take this train, right? Traffic jam is for what now? It's all of you guys. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to not wait to load it anymore. And then that will stop that from ever being a problem again. Okay, also this is done. So real quick, let's go ahead and do this. All right, so put this on the... you know what? Tell you what, we can... Now, let's wait. This is a moment, okay? I want to really focus in on that train once we launch it. I don't want to like launch it and then come over here. So let's get rid of that road. And so for these two buildings, which this is no longer doing anything, and this is kind of filling up, so that's great. We're going to say that we get the dump with the claw railway, right? And did you guys not do this? Oh, you know what it was? This traffic jam was making it impossible for this to load up on stuff. So the construction office, the demolition offices and stuff couldn't do it. Yeah, I need you to get out of here too. Get out of here. Let's really get some more throughput here. Because we need to get this stuff out of the way so I can do this. But I'm fairly confident that we'll be able to just like eyeball this and say, oh yeah, you can totally connect there. So what I want to do... Oh man, I'm really hoping that that's not going to get in the way. Can I flip this? Yep, and go right about here with it. I'm trying to avoid tearing that down. I don't want to do that. Just an extra set of electrical stuff I don't want to deal with. Overlaps existing construction. Okay, so you do need to tear this down before we can proceed. Damn. All right, I have to wait for that anyway. So since I have to wait for that anyway, let's come on over here and have our moment right now, okay? So we are going to want this train, this electric train, come all the way over here, load up crops here. You're going to wait until you're loaded on this side. Then you're going to come all the way over here. You're first going to unload here, and you're not going to wait till unloaded. Then you're going to come over here, and you're also not going to wait till unloaded. Okay? You load up what is there, and you bring it back over here. All right? If you drop everything off 100% and you fill all the storages, great. Move over here and dump it all in here. Okay? And if you fill both of these storages up, all the storages, then you're just going to leave and go get more and then come back, right? That's all you're doing. So let's take and click this button and watch as the train is super fast, all right? This should be a really fast train. Let's go. You should see it going like 140 kilometers an hour. Oh, yeah. Zipping through here. There we go, baby. Looking good, isn't it? I kind of wish these box cars were like a bright green. You know, I think it'd be a really cool... Oh, look, it just goes through the tunnel of trees. Yep. That's pretty sweet. And then it's, of course, going to load up on all the crops. So 607 tons of crops it can load at one time per thing. And we've got like 8,000 tons just waiting for this, right? So now we don't need this other train to do this. So here's what we got. You're on your way to the border now with this load. Perfect. Here's what I want you to do, okay? We are not going to load crops anymore. You're just going to unload what you have, right? And then we're going to tell this train to go and take itself and all of its box cars and stuff into this office right here, okay? Look at this thing zipping through here. It's so quick. Not even what it sounds like. You know, it's an electric train. It doesn't really have much of a noise, does it? I mean, certainly it's got a lot of noise when it comes to like the train interacting with the track, but not a whole lot of sound coming from the engine itself, right? All right, now it's of course dumping all this out as much as it can. It's not going to wait until it's fully unloaded. So we should see crops kind of being stored in all these things, filling up this, right? And then the remainder will get dumped over here. All right. There we go. Going to dump all this in here. Now, kind of an interesting dynamic happens here, right? With this one-way feed that's happening right here. This is going to take the priority. It's going to pull from this before it pulls from this. So this is going to serve as sort of like a way for us to check whether or not there's 800 tons in reserve, right? So it's kind of a reserve tank for food production, because this building is going to pull from this first before it starts to pull from this. Okay, so right now it's pulling from this supply and it'll leave this supply alone, which means this train, which is already on it halfway on its way back now, this train will end up having more of its distribution here going to the other means of production, right? And now we also want to be able to store more food. So I'm going to say we bring you up to like maybe there, and let's bring the electronics down a little bit. We could say maybe 4% here. Seems good. So it's going to give us almost 500 tons of food capacity in this building too, which is going to be great. With this train heading back, hopefully... No, it's... I think it's decided to... Well, I don't know. It didn't bring any crops back, which is the whole point. But I need to get it like in the middle of the route. So I need to kind of trigger this as soon as it's done here. Then I need to tell it to change its workplace. So as soon as it's empty, there we go. You're going to change your workplace to be here. Right there. Okay? Get rid of that line. And your workplace is there. Now what this train will do, empty as it is, going to come all the way over and put itself into the distribution office as well as all of its box cars. And that's going to fully supply all the stuff we need for this. When that's done, we now don't have exports going out from this anymore. So the next part of the grand plan... Oh, hello. 607 tons of crops coming in. It unloads really quickly, doesn't it? Yep. Just refreshing the supply so you can keep making alcohol, right? The next part of the grand plan then in this case is to, I don't know why you're not breaking this down. Why are you guys not doing this? Like, it's so hard to get you guys to just do demo. Demolition has been stopped. Why? 17 work days needed to finish. All the waste is on there. Like, why? Why is this? Why is it not happening? Come on. Do I need to pull other jobs away? Like, where are you guys at? You're at a job right now. You're on a job right now. I mean, everybody's on a job. I suppose at least everybody's busy. Probably should take a look and see if there's any more track builders I could buy. This is a reserve. It's going to sit there as reserve while this is what we pull from for food. As this goes down, you should see this number drop, not this one. So, should start seeing you drop any second now. There it goes. You stay full. Yep. So there we go. Perfect. Which means almost this thing is going to be able to unload its entire supply here rather than this being what we draw from all the time. And so, yeah, great. I already explained it. Don't need to do it anymore. What's next? Well, other than messing with that train. Yeah, so if we can take a look at this. Now this yard has got a whole bunch of box cars in there. Refrigeration cars. There's our hopper cars. We've got all the... This is the open hull, open call cars, right? So moving steel and all that stuff. And so are these two. So lots of diversity here, as well as 5 of the DR Class 5s now, which is great. So next we want to do is we want to make sure we still have exports. Otherwise, we're not going to have much money. We're up to 6 million rubles, which is like, freaking awesome. Like, look at that. Just insane. Doing really well financially now. I want to make sure that from here, what we're doing, we need to add the border, which we already have. So instead of loading meat from the border, I mean, that's good. We're loading meat. It's great. But you don't have to do that. Instead, let's make sure we keep up with mechanical components, right? You need it for repairs and stuff. We're going to want to unload at the customs house food, clothing, and beer. Or vodka. Sorry. The symbol looks like beer to me. It is. It actually is beer in here. So vodka, beer, whatever, food, and clothing. Those are the things we've been exporting the whole time. The train is going to take care of this now, but it's not going to be one long train that just sits in there all the time. Instead, it's going to be the distribution office only bringing the small bits that are needed, doing it really quick, and then going back home. We're not going to sit here all day. So at this cargo station, we now want to be able to load food, clothing, and alcohol, but we're going to keep the storage. This is a very important part of this if you're doing it like this yourself. We want to make sure that the storage percent stays relatively high. Okay, we don't want to sell our entire supply. We only want to sell the extra. So in this case, I'm going to make sure that storage stays at 50% in this train station so that the trains only will take up to 50% of the storage. Okay, it's only going to load things when we're over 50%. So in this case, we've got a lot of food in here. Okay, please tell me you're deconstructing. No? Is no one going to deconstruct this? I mean, it's assigned. It's clearly assigned, right? I don't get it. These are not full at all, right? They're completely fine. You got plenty of space to store stuff. So what's the dealio here? Huh? I need to get this taken care of. I need to get this out of here. All right, so here's this. So this just came in to grab 306 tons of food. That's 127,000 rubles export right there. And it's now being prompted by this, so the train doesn't sit here all day and do nothing, right? And the fuel supply, a very important part of this, the fuel supply for our exports and imports now are managed by that building. So keep fuel here, and all your trains will always have fuel, right? Which means we've now reached the point where this is no longer needed, except for the fact that we have this waste train. So if we can get the waste train out of here, right? We can do refueling somewhere else. We can have a fuel station over here or something, but we don't need it here anymore, provided we can take care of the waste, right? So we're one step closer to getting rid of train diesel there. Now, once we get the steel done, which is a long ways away still, I'm working on it. We've got, some stuff over here done, but it's coming along, but slowly, because I've been focused on this stuff over here a lot. But once we get that done, then we're ready to rock with creating our own electrical components. Then we can electrify all the tracks everywhere and just have nothing but electric trains everywhere. That'll make me very happy. We don't need it right now, but that'll make me very happy later on. So yeah, there we go. That's the idea realized. Okay, everything's done there. The electrical's out of the way here, looks like. This is out of the way here, looks like. So let's see if this can connect now. We're gonna go like that and like that. Very good. And then we want the electrical to be reconnected. Right like this, there to there. Ooh. Okay, so that's what I was worried about. So we have to go here and then like that. Can't connect the same way we were before. Assuming that all of this gets built and begins working, we now need the rail come on out. So from any side, really, no, we need a road here. And I'm going to make this a gravel road because I think eventually all this is going to be gravel anyway. You know, we can go wide. Go wide like that. It doesn't matter, does it? Yeah, let's just get rid of this. We can just do it our own way here. Yeah, this is fine. Like that. All right, that's going to be a gravel road. We'll go ahead and build that. It's not like we're going to be able to start delivering things here very soon anyway. Although, we can't process waste until this is built. Isn't that right? Yeah. Okay, and then because this is full, right, we have certain offices that are bringing it here. And so we need to figure out every office that's bringing this here. And it's these guys. Okay, just this one. All right, you're bringing fertilizer here, which I don't know what you're doing. I have to look at that. There's a route there, but there's certain technical offices that are bringing it to that spot, right? So like this one here, for example. So now we need to tell this to send its mixed waste here instead. All right, or you just bring it here. This is where it's supposed to be in the end anyway, right? Send it there. All this is set up now, so we should just send it all there. Yeah. Mixed waste. Yeah, you're gonna send it to that spot too. And then we want you guys. You should already be doing it. You're not. Okay, you're gonna go there. And then we have another one. It's actually this one. And you're also doing mixed waste to this spot. I'm not sure how that happened. You should have been doing it over here the whole time. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. You know what I probably did is I probably went and like set something up with the incinerator. I think is what it was. I set it up with biological waste to send biological waste there. And then I did copy settings and I just forgot to switch it back. So all these garbage trucks should now be going where they're supposed to be going. Same thing here. Mixed waste. We'll send your mixed waste over here just so that we can keep this spread out. And then, yeah, we need to build all of this. So let's get the road crews on that. They should be able to do that pretty quickly. There's no need for any labor or anything. And then all the construction crews should be handling this stuff yeah, as we go. And we'll make this a high priority so that they hopefully do it quicker. Get our stuff all turned back on, okay? All right. So that's really the main thing that I needed to take care of in this video, was just to transition everything into the train distribution office. That's what I designed this for, was train distribution. People do not sit here and wait forever now. I just don't understand why they're not deconstructing this. None of my track builders are doing that. So I'm going to have to try this. Maybe this is the approach I need to take. We're going to go with the nuclear option, okay? Where I specifically tell you to only do that, and you don't do anything else until that's done. So there you go. Please go do that. That's like the only way to get you to do it. And then we'll have our crossings here. So I think I can probably take away these signals. Should be able to go away. At least these two. We should be able to remove those. Really all of these, actually, because the only reason all these signals are here is because of this crossing. So I shouldn't need this one anymore. That one should be able to go away. And then, yeah, you're just going to ignore all the lights. And then start tearing this down. There you go. Let's watch it. Oh, this is going to be super slow, isn't it? This, of course, you're sitting in everybody's way while you do this. Oh, okay, I see. You don't actually move. The track moves. That's fine. Yeah, that works for me. And the track goes away forever. Yeah, you're done. Sweet. Okay, good. Everything's done. So now the intersection, this doesn't need to be there. These don't need to be there. And then what we're going to do is we set up that extra crossing. So get rid of that waypoint and this one and this one. All these waypoints are gone. We want to do the same thing we did here. This crossing right here. So grab the tracks on this side, and then we go out one, and then cross like that and like that. Okay? And now this becomes the big priority, because now our entire logistics is shut down while we do that, unless we do that quickly. So we're gonna have this be the next things that you're doing, track builders. Off you go. Somebody also commented earlier that I should build another track builder. There's really no reason to do that. I have a space available for another unit in here, which is, you know, good. I can still expand. I can also get rid of this one, scrap this one, and replace it with a faster one. Maybe I should just do that, because that little one is not really necessary anymore. Like, we're kind of past that. Even if I was to buy this one, which is still not a good deal. It's 82%, but it's, yeah. So I'll keep my eyes open for better ones. And if I can fill this up, then I'll replace it. But there's no real reason to get another office, because we're already crowding a lot of the tracks with track builders anyway. We're building fast enough. If I was going to build another track builder, right, you have to remember that I have to provide resources to that building. So where would I put it? Am I putting it way over here? Well, why? I mean, it's so far away. We still have a lot of track that needs to be built relatively close to this office, and I have all the logistics set up to provide this office with constant supply, including a big truck that's just sitting here unloading brick into it, because we're going to be building lots of tunnels and stuff. So I got a lot of brick over here too. So I think actually this vehicle really doesn't need to do that anymore. So I think I'm going to tell it to go unload its brick. Yeah, go unload your brick over here, and then go back over where you were. That's good. I'll tell it to do that. So do that, and then you're not going to go here. Instead, you're going to go back over here where you were sitting before and do nothing. Unload your brick and then go away. Because I got the distribution office handling that now. Right, so where's my crossing? Is it almost done? Oh, it is completely done. Very good. Okay, so we're going to take this. We want chain. We actually want a mixed signal here. So mixed signal here, because the distribution office is going to use that to get back. We actually don't need it to do that anymore because of this crossing. Yes, so never mind. So this can be a chain in this direction. You know, it's working out okay right now, though. I don't really think that's necessary. Yeah. So that way or this way, and then you cross in. No, I think we're good. Yeah. So this can be a go this way, right? This chains in this direction, and then you chain here, and then you clear here. You don't even need to clear there. You just go. Yeah, there's no reason to clear there. You're done. You don't need that. And you do need to stop here, but then you might block. I don't want you to block the road. So I either put your chain signal here, which might block this road. It's more important that you don't block this road. So I'll allow you to block this road. It's fine. And your clear will be there. And there's a chain signal that goes this way. So we go that way and that way. Now distribution has a clear in and out. They don't need to double dip that anymore. They get to go through here. And then if they're going to be in here, then they just get in there and go where they need to go, right? And then I think we can't place signals here. Oh, right. That was my problem before, is I can't place signals on that. Oh, I messed this up, guys. Yeah, I messed it up. I need a signal on this side. Yep, I screwed that up. That's my bad. Well, who else's bad would it be? All right, so I do need to make an amendment to this plan, unfortunately. So let's go in and put mixed signals here. Is what I have. A whole lot of those mixed signals. Let's do this again. We're going to also do this. And then we need to tear this out. So that's completely my fault. I've been telling myself about this earlier. I was like, when I record, I have to make sure I do this. And I completely spaced. You got to get enough room to where that you can put signals in here. So track builders, I need you to now demolish. You need to tear these out. I know you just built them, right? I know. Now you need to tear them out. Same thing over here. Tear these out too. Same thing with that, I guess. Not sure why I'm doing that one. I don't need to do that one. Cancel that. Just this. Same thing over here. I don't know why this is necessary. You should be good with just tearing out the crossing. We don't need to tear this stuff out. Okay. So track builders will do that. I'm going to let it run really quick to get these two crossings out of here, and I'll be right back. Okay, that's done. So next thing to do is we need to redraw where those were. So what I need on this side is I need to get rid of all the little waypoints first, actually. So those are gone, and then these little ones here need to go away. There we go, and this one, and then let's get rid of these two signals too. Okay, so how we want to draw this is we need to have signals like this. We're gonna say right there, right there, as close as we can go. I guess that's as close as I can go, I guess. That sucks. But we're gonna go right there. We're gonna put a mixed signal in that spot and that spot, okay? And then over on this side, we're gonna put another one, mixed signal in almost right. Come on. Wow, that has to be like really far out. Darn. Just really hoping I can go closer than that. All right, that's what those mixed signals are. Now, from this point, I got to make my crossing. That way I can get signals in here. It's really important for that system to work that way. It's got to have signals on this side. Otherwise, this whole thing counts as a mix, and I don't think they're actually going to enter in. I might be wrong on that, but the whole thing being yellow like that is not what I'm looking for, because that means that they're connected to each other as a single intersection. And by doing so, it means that the trains can't enter if there's anybody in here at all. To where if I do it like this, it keeps them completely separate. You'll see in a second. So if I push this right here, and then I want to make as quick of a crossing as possible. So that's about as small as I can go. And then same thing here, as small as I can go here. Small as it will permit. Right there. That, okay. That's where we want the second set to be. Right? So we're going to say here, and you guys still have nothing to do until you're done with these. There and right there. Those are the only 4 projects you have, so there's no reason to set priority. You just will see them and then send out your track builders to go ahead and make it happen. They appear to be done now. So they're all going to go back to base now. They've completed all of the crossings. And so now we have to put in the rest of the signals. And that should complete the process of what I was looking for here. So we know that this is a track that heads this direction. So we're going to make sure that the signal is as close to it as we can to maximize the distance here between these two signals. So from here to here, we get 141, which is not ideal. But the only reason it's like that is because of this road. So I think, it's possible if we really must, we could put a signal in maybe on this side of the road. No? Won't let me do that. I feel like I should be able to go, I should be able to go a little bit further back here. Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, really the only time this is ever a problem is if it's an absolutely maximum length train. I just don't see that. I don't think that's going to happen very often. This side here, we want this to be indented back a little bit, because if I put it closer, if I put it here, then what will probably happen is that these railroad crossing things will trigger when the train's not moving across it. So I have them indented back a little bit just so that when the train stops, it doesn't trigger the traffic to stop with it. Same thing with this right here too. We could also, I don't think there's a reason to have, well, there might be a reason to have, I don't know. Like, these are all one-way tracks, so I doubt it. It should be able to just do this. And like, yeah, it's purple, but only because of this crossing right here. Otherwise, it's all one way, so I don't care about that purple. And then this is a two-way on this side, right? So we just go like that, right? There you go. On this side, right, we do the same thing we did before. We have our clear right there. And then here is a chain. Okay? Now, you might see, okay, this is the whole thing is yellow. What's that going on about, right? Well, it's because it's possible that trains can stop in here, but it's not really going to happen very often, I don't think. I got to give it the ability to do it, but I don't think it's going to happen very often. I can probably counter this and just do this, but I think probably it might be better to just remove that signal entirely and just have a train not, because then you won't enter there. Now you do have to stop here potentially. We're going to do it like this. We're just going to have these signals be like that. And then on this side, we'll have one. You won't let me do it, will you? No, of course not. It's fine. It's right there. The signal should be good now. I don't want this to be super confusing, but like in my head, this is how it was supposed to be laid out and how it was supposed to work. But everything should be good now. If I've done this correctly, these two tracks are able to have trains coming in and stopping and to pick things up from any direction simultaneously, right? They can come in, they're going to come in on this track, but they can stop on this one or this one. And same thing on this side. They can come in on this side, but they can stop on this one or this one. And then they will simply, any other train that's looking to get in here will simply wait its turn to get in here if there's no space available, which shouldn't really ever happen because it's being managed by the distribution office. And they usually send really short trains that don't really have a whole lot of time in loading. So they're really only going to be in here for a very short amount of time anyway. The other cool thing about this is if a train, and if they're going to go through there, then they'll just pass right through, right? But if a train's heading this direction and there's already a train stopped on this side, it can now go out and around and pass around it, right? That's still possible with this setup the way it is. So that's my train setup. That's the more long-term approach anyway. I don't really care for this yellow track being like this, but I don't really know a better way to do it. I also don't need that. Not really. I mean, I guess I could leave it yellow, or the only reason this exists is in the event that there is two crop trains, but we don't really require that because the two crop trains, if it's going to stop here anyway and wait for the thing to get out of the way, so having a signal here really doesn't matter. The only reason to do it that way, I guess, is just to have the color change, right, to make it blue. But again, I don't think it's necessary to do that, so we're going to leave that out. Okay, so that takes care of what I needed to cover in this video, I think. Yeah. The only thing left to do now is to get this operational. We should be dumping trash in here now. Hopefully we don't have any garbage issues around town. I probably should take a look at the overlay, see if that messed up anything at all. Let's go to waste. Do we have any waste issues? Seems like we're pretty good. Yeah. Health is at 90%, so like it can't be a big deal. This one's at 100, but that's a processing center anyway, so whatever. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty solid. We're rock solid on waste. The only reason for you to be at 100% is, right, because it's only your overflow that ends up going over here. So all this stuff is just going to sit in here, but none of it's hazardous. See, we have more hazardous waste, so we are processing it at least somewhat, because we cannot store or export mixed waste. This thing is still locked on fertilizer. Super weird. What is going on with this? All right, I gotta get a garbage truck overdoing this. I don't know where this garbage truck is. Where's this garbage truck at right now? There's several different vehicles doing this, but there should be one that is loading fertilizer. Yeah, where are you right now? Are you waiting to unload? Is that what we're doing here? You guys are... Don't wait until loaded. I don't know. Like, I gotta figure this thing out here. We got too many vehicles trying to do jobs. I gotta get this out of here. Let's put you over here. I think I might want to take a second between this video and the next to just go through all my routes, go through all my vehicles, and make sure that we don't have a situation like that where there's, like, you know, a couple of vehicles waiting to load, wait till loaded. We don't need that anymore. And I can probably just have you dump this entire cargo and you know, have you're going over to the medium farm to dump it, which, I mean, I guess that's fine, but because you're supposed to be going there. Yeah, you certainly don't need to wait until loaded for that. I'm gonna put a pause on all this. Maybe we'll take a distribution office to do this instead of these dedicated routes. I think this is what the distribution office is designed for, so we should be doing that. But we don't want to have two vehicles sitting in here waiting until loaded. That's the thing we definitely don't want to see. You can do it. You can wait till loaded. That's fine. But I don't want two vehicles doing the same thing. All right, definitely not. And then as soon as this thing picks up the fertilizer that's stuck in here, I need to switch this to mixed waste immediately. At some point, this should switch right there. Mixed waste. Okay, done. I've selected this, so you should always be mixed waste now. There we go. Okay. No switching to fertilizer. Definitely not. All right, now you can process. We need workers there. That's fine. We'll get the buses and stuff going any minute now. Should be heading over here to work there. There they are. They'll begin processing, and the whole system begins to work again. Okay? Now all of these guys can now dump their mixed waste there, because initially they couldn't do that. Yeah, that was a problem. Okay, I figured it out. It took forever. I'm sorry. I don't know if I showed this yet, but we have a pump right here. I've moved this. So I was getting ready for chemicals. Again, I don't remember if I showed this. So if I have, I'm sorry. There's 3 pump jacks. We've had them here the whole time. We're going to do chemicals here. I had to move the pump. So instead of being here, it's now over here, kind of out of the way. And what we're going to do, right, is we have all of these that are going to be popped into... Oh, I definitely haven't shown this yet, because if I had, this would already be done. We're going to have this come in right like that. And then here, you're going to come in there, and you're going to come over and be there. Right? So there is our new pump arrangement to get more oil into this area. And I think I want to go ahead and have them build that, because we're not keeping up on fuel anymore. And it's not because of workers. It's because of oil supply, right? Workers are, I think, probably fine, but the oil supply has been really lacking. And so we want to make sure we're taking care of that. To help take care of that, I'm going to take my road depot that's over here. You know, there's so many things I wanted to cover in this video, and I apologize for being all over the place, but it just, some of these things took me longer than I thought it was going to. I'm going to take a road depot. I'm going to slap it right here. That's fine. And then what I want to do is take the vehicles that are over here. Yeah. Okay. So this one, I want you. Wish I could select multiple without selecting all. That would be better, but I guess I can't do that. So what I want you to do is to work here. I want you to work here. I want you to work here. Right? Figured it out. Okay. So when those things get here, I'll be able to handle the roads that are associated with this, or at least the single road that's associated with this. Haven't been able to build this because I have to do little terrain modifications here, and I can't do it with the yellow road because there's nothing in the area. So I have to get this done before I can go ahead and do all this. But I can at least turn on construction for these things and tell the helicopters to get started on it. And really, since this is connected to this building, I should be able to get the other construction office to work on it too. That little extra oil plus this stuff getting done should lead to us having a really good oil supply, which will be able to work more consistently, and we'll be able to catch up on fuel. So I'm going to end up putting like 200 people in here as the max. But I also, in order to really take full advantage of that, I'm going to need to have all of this stuff done. And that means I'm not moving the pump jacks. The pump jacks stay right where they are. So when we do our chemicals, we're going to have to do so in a way that does not move the pump jacks. I think is possible. We probably will have to move this electrical line, which is why I've already set up the extra redundancy necessary to allow me to remove it. Okay? All right. That's going to be it for today, I think. You guys are just delivering all the construction materials for those pipes, holding up traffic as you do. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you. We're set up with crop train now. That's very exciting stuff, and this is almost full. Yeah. So we have food forever now, as long as we can produce it. We're at 16,000 population, and that means we're actually going to have to start thinking about adding another food factory as well. We'll have to start thinking about adding one of those. And we'll be doing so, I think, right here, because it's a natural spot where everything's connected. So we'll have stuff being dropped off here. We'll also have another storage over here, and we'll have stuff dropped into that too. All right. So that's going to do it, I think. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. We'll see ya. Bye-bye.